We're back now with Congressman Luis Gutierrez, whose district is in Chicago, O'Hare Airport, Midway Airport, the northwest and
northwest, southwest
side of it. And we thank you for coming back to Washington to join us this morning. You just heard Rick Perry, some really strong words about the president. He said basically he's just not interested in solving this problem on the border.
Well, Governor Perry's just wrong on that issue. Let's first deal, he kept repeating the border, the border, the border, and he wants to put more National Guardsmen, and if they put more National Guardsmen, the children wouldn't come. The children come, Bob, fleeing violence and torture, murder and rape. And so they're going to continue to come as long as those conditions exist, and we don't fix our broken immigration system. Let's just put in context what the governor just said. So, at the height of George Bush's presidency, in 2002, I'm sorry, not the height, during George Bush's presidency, 1,600,000 people apprehended crossing the border between Mexico and the United States. Today it's under 400,000. But George Bush, average of about 200,000 people deported a year, average over his 8 years. Over 6 years of President Barack Obama, 400,000, over 2 million deported already under his. So both at the border and both in terms of deportation, there has been enforcement. But here's the problem. We spend $18 billion a year on making sure that the federal government has immigration enforcement agents. That's more than the DEA, the ATF, and the FBI, and all other enforcement combined. But we still have a problem, right? So you can keep throwing money and talk about enforcement, 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 but you got to put money also into your judicial system, and you got to put money in a comprehensive program that deals with the issue. I want to make one last point to the governor. Look, these are children. I'm happy he didn't demonize the children. But there is a demonization that goes on. And all I say to the governor is, I wish you understood and accepted the law of the land, Governor. And the law of the land in 2008, we adopted in the Congress of the United States an anti-trafficking law. But wait, it wasn't only in 2008 that we said protect the children. We said protect the children in 2002 when we created the Department of Homeland Security. Dick Armey, signed by President Bush, said we must treat children who arrive at our shores differently.
Let me just ask you about this, because I hear this from Democrats as well as Republicans. Some prominent Democrats have said, you know, if the president was going to Texas, he should have gone down to the border and should have taken a first-hand look at this. Do you think he would have been better off if he had done that?
I think the president should have gone down there, stated what the law is. In 2008, Bob, look, Louis Gohmert from Texas, who hasn't ever seen an immigrant that he hasn't thought was bringing disease to this country, and went on the House floor this week to compare the invasion of children to our incursion into Mexico to seek out Pancho Villa, to our reaching the beaches of Normandy. So they put it in these terms. But Steve King from Iowa, he always says they're criminals. He can never say immigrant and criminal without putting. They voted for the 2002 and 2008 law that say protect. So when there were calmer times, right, level-headed people thinking about the issue, we put the children's interests first. Remember bipartisanship? This wasn't a Democratic bill.
Well, let me just ask you this.
Bill.
Let's start with this. Okay, don't you have to secure the border, though, and take care of these children that are already here? And how do you do that?
Yeah, the border is secure. The fact is, the children are handing themselves over to the Border Patrol agents. And under our laws, they must be treated. So all I have come here to say is two things. America, there's American exceptionalism, right? I believe in it. And I say we are the strongest, wealthiest, most powerful nation in the world. And children are coming to our borders, we should protect them. Now, I will say this. Follow the law. And the law said that we must put the children's interests first, which is what President Barack Obama is doing. I find Governor Perry interesting in that Republicans keep saying, well, we can't fix the immigration issue because we don't trust the president to enforce the law. And then when the president actually follows the law in 2002 and 2008, the very law that that was signed by President Bush, they say, well, he should do something different.
All right. Well, Congressman, we have to stop there. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll be back.